Hi everybody, welcome back to Redmen, to the workshop here. Sorry we haven't been doing much recently, but we've been busy making clothes, so who's complaining? This is a nice coat, it's a bespoke coat and it's being made for a very important client. The reason why I've just kind of jumped into the workshop here is I thought you might be interested in this little detail. It's not that this coat is particularly unusual. It's going to be a beautiful bespoke coat. This is a Dugdale cloth, but I thought it's this that's quite fascinating, and I just want to show you this because it kind of helps explain a little bit between difference of bespoke and made to measure and ready to wear. So what's going on here, and if we're lucky I'll try and ask Peter to help explain it better, who will do it better than I can. This is in production, as you can clearly see. Now then, there's this collar just basted on here, and what's really nice about this, which is a feature of Bespoke, what Peter will do is he will match the collar up to match all the centre back seam, okay, so all the checks work properly, and then he literally gets it on his lap and he feels his way around it there, putting the collar on bit by bit, and this is where they say it's all in the fingers and experience. Collar shoulder sleeves is always the hard part because it's very hard to quantify how much fullness or tension you need to put in there to get a nice collar to control the lapels, but at the same time to give that softness, because if you make a collar too tight it'll hitch the coat up and cutters get confused and clients get confused. We think the fronts need dropped, and it could all just be because it's got a tight collar. But what's also interesting is, of course, in Bespoke you'll be dropped on one side or whatever, you know, different measurements either side, which is perfectly normal. And the beauty of the way this is just put on like that by hand is it naturally fits the garment and lets the collar lie naturally where it wants to. Of course, in the ready-to-wear world, this is a pattern pre-cut, probably with a laser, and that collar is going to go on that job as easily as possible, and there are no variations in lengths or sizes. We will have slight differences either side because it's made for an individual. But I thought you might find it just quite fascinating to see it like this. It's not something people get to see because you just get the job and it's ready to go. Peter, I know you want to go home. I'll see if Peter can join us. Any tips, Peter? So anyone, Peter, say hello. Peter's been at Redmond for quite a few years and he really loves having his picture taken. Am I right in what I was saying, Peter, or am I missing something?
No, basically modelless, right? Yeah.
It's not something people get to see this, because when a ready to wears and different things cut, they have a collar pattern and it's already cut, whereas Peter just starts off with a very simple piece of cloth and it's just felt the way around. And believe me, the difference of a nice collar and how it controls a coat is really incredible. Peter, apprentice's watch, any tips?
Well, I'd have to sit down and show how to do it.
Oh well, there you go. You're getting more bang for your buck.
Sometimes you get it dead right, sometimes you don't. So it's
and like all these things, all the cloths are different, all the jobs are different, and it's just years of experience. That's it. Putting the collar on is a long way down the line, isn't it, Peter?
Yeah.
Because it can really spoil the look of a coat. If you put a tight collar on, it'll hitch all the coat up and the fronts will crease. You'll get lots of diagonal drags from the underneath the side towards the neck point, and all it wants to be done is released. And I've been at it a long time and I've seen it before, and different coat makers have given us something. We've taken the collar off, given it a good pull, and all of a sudden we've realised the collar is a good 1/2 inch short either side, and it's really easily done. and certainly a lot of the time in the West End, one of the biggest and most expensive alterations was getting a new top collar all the time. So kind of look out for it. And of course in Bespoke there is that, it's in your fingers, and it's how the cloth feels, and it's about just getting the balance right between fullness and tension to control the lapels, but do a beautiful job. Excuse all the noise, machines and cars, but it is hot here today in England. It is very hot for September, and workshops by their very nature are always hot places anyway. So what Peter's tucking the top collar onto is the under collar, which is the Melton there. Now look at that, that base snagged and he didn't flap at all. What's your favourite thing about tailoring, Peter? I know he hates these questions.
Button collars on.
You're making that look so easy, Peter. You know everybody would be writing to you and wanting to hire you. Well, of course, what a lot of the viewers don't realise, we are tailors, and there's an awful lot of conversations about tailoring on the internet, and it's quite difficult for us to talk about it because it's the job that we do and we just get on with it. So it's very difficult to do something or talk about something you've been doing for 30, 40, 50 years. And find it interesting, I guess. It's the day job. So Peter's just basting along the gorge line there, and when this coat eventually gets finished out, that will be hand drawn together by a hand finisher, which is a different person who gets involved in the process. Now you can see the fullness in the collar, and of course when that turns back and it's shaped and pressed, we hope we have just the right balance. If Peter wasn't being filmed, he'd normally be singing. Isn't that right, Peter?
Probably another tailor looking at this somewhere and saying, I don't do it anything like that.
Yeah, but we don't care, Peter. Well done, dummy. Looking pretty good, Pete. So if you'd like to have a little pan round here, you can see how all of this is lining up, the little blue lines. Okay, in the main check. Of course it'll be pressed and shaped. Okay, and obviously all the edges will be done. But that's controlling that lapel nicely. So this is obviously to be finished off. There you have it. Wasn't that interesting? I thought it was quite good. I haven't sat and watched that being done for years because of course you just hand them into the workshop and get on with life. Thank you, Peter. Much appreciated. Make yourself at home. Right, just a couple of things. You know that we were talking about a suit that we were making for a chap, and we're going to take you through the process. We haven't forgotten that. The process is ongoing. Once we get so far down the line, I think what we'll do is release a few segments of it. We don't want to bore you with a great big long thing, so we'll try and do little segments. And I think that's about it. We're busy. Thank you for following us and liking us on Facebook and such like, which is very encouraging for us. We rather hope that September and the last part of the year is very good for business, especially if we can get to the United States. It's very frustrating for US clients because we keep getting promised a date, or rather there are rumours of a promised date, and it just is not materialising. I am due in the US at the end of September. Up until this point, I'm coming. Tickets are booked, we're going. But we're still not allowed in. If they don't lift that barrier in the next 10 days, sadly we'll have to cancel again. And then we'll have another go 6 weeks down the line and see where we are. But look, thank you for dropping in. Sorry it's been so long, but I hope you found that interesting. And thanks very much, Pete. And thanks everyone. Take care and talk soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.